what really happened during Kendrick Lamar's blockbuster Super Bowl halftime show that had fans whispering and then shouting, "Was that a jab at Drake?" One seemingly innocent moment triggered a tidal wave of speculation and ignited a debate that still rages on today. If you blinked, you might have missed it, but for those paying attention, there were clues that went far beyond the typical showmanship. The question is, did Kendrick intentionally send a verbal dagger Drake's way, or was the entire buzz nothing more than a product of overactive imaginations? From the moment Kendrick Lamar took the stage at the Super Bowl halftime show, electricity crackled through the stadium. Bright lights, stunning visuals, and a roaring crowd set the perfect backdrop for a performance destined to make history. As he rattled through hits and unveiled new choreography, everything seemed larger than life. Then, in the middle of it all, fans started pointing to a split second, just a few words, an emphasis, or maybe just a playful glance, claiming it was directed squarely at Drake. Social media lit up, fans replayed clips, and within hours, a simple rumor erupted into a massive online flashpoint. For years, Drake and Kendrick Lamar have stood as dual pillars of modern hip-hop. They've collaborated with music legends, topped the charts, and built colossal fan bases worldwide. While Drake's emotional hooks and pop-tinged rap style redefined mainstream hip-hop, Kendrick carved out his lane as a poetic, conceptual genius whose albums sparked in-depth cultural discussions. Despite existing in the same ecosystem, often praising each other's talents, whispers of rivalry constantly trailed them. People saw covert references in interviews, side-eyes at award shows, and carefully veiled lines in their lyrics. Whenever these small sparks surfaced, fans fanned them into flames, certain that the two rap heavyweights were just one line away from an all-out lyrical war. In the wake of the Super Bowl, speculation surged. Did Kendrick alter a line from one of his classics to highlight Drake's personal life or authenticity? Maybe it was just a subtle vocal inflection. Or perhaps the entire rumor stemmed from an overzealous fan reading into a random facial expression. Dozens of theories popped up overnight. Some insisted that only true fans recognized the sly gotcha in Kendrick's performance, while skeptics rolled their eyes, calling it a contrived scandal. The debate felt endless. On Twitter, hashtags soared to the top of trending lists. YouTube commentators pored over each frame, creating countless breakdown videos. People who usually couldn't care less about halftime shows were suddenly glued to short clips, hoping to decode the big mystery. For a while, Drake and his team did nothing to dampen the chatter. Publicly, they said nothing. No statement, no tweet, no quick jab in an interview. That silence alone added fuel to the frenzy, as fans assumed he must be stewing privately or biding his time. Then, during a casual live stream, someone boldly asked, "Did you hear Kendrick's shot at you?" Drake's reaction was cool and composed. He acknowledged having heard the rumors, but pointed out that the music world often turns vague lyrics into personal attacks. Though he didn't rule out the possibility that Kendrick aimed something his way, he let everyone know he wasn't losing sleep over it. If this rumored slight was real, Drake seemed to suggest, he and Kendrick could address it directly rather than feed the gossip mill. The crowd ate it up, praising him for staying above the noise without shutting the door on the idea that maybe, just maybe, Kendrick took a shot. Section 5. Inside the Fan Frenzy. Meanwhile, fans from every corner of the internet dived into detective mode. Drake devotees insisted there was zero chance their idol got dissed without immediate fiery retaliation. Kendrick loyalists pointed out that subtle disses are his trademark. If you know, you know. Forums lit up with theories, tweets turned into heated threads, and a rising wave of reaction videos flooded YouTube. Memes popped up comparing Drake's calmness to that smile you have when you know you've been singled out. Others believed the entire narrative was just a big publicity stunt or a misunderstanding. One thing was clear, the fans loved the drama. Even casual listeners who didn't catch the halftime show found themselves dragged into a swirl of rumor, speculation, and half-baked proof. Drake, for his part, maintained an almost eerie silence in the immediate aftermath of the Super Bowl. No tweets, no cryptic Instagram captions, no cameo on a friend's livestream to say, "I heard you K-Dot." This was unusual for someone who has historically not shied away from public spats. Fans recall his feud with Meek Mill. Drake dropped a quick diss track, charged up, then followed it with back-to-back to drive the point home. He's not exactly known for holding back when he feels slighted, yet this time was different. For about a week, the rumor churned relentlessly, with no official word from Drake's camp. Then, almost casually, Drake hopped on a live stream with fans. He was in a laid-back mood, sipping a drink, talking about upcoming music and joking around about basketball, until one bold viewer typed a question, "What do you think about Kendrick dissing you at the Super Bowl?" You could see Drake read it. He paused, let out a half smile, and then responded with surprising poise. He neither confirmed nor denied the rumor. Instead, he acknowledged he'd heard about it, found it interesting, and felt that if Kendrick had something serious to say, it should be more direct. He also pointed out how hip-hop fans love to read into every line, almost nudging the idea that maybe this entire fiasco was overblown. But crucially, Drake never said, "Kendrick didn't diss me," nor did he say, "That was definitely about me." That middle ground fueled the conversation even more, as fans called his response anything from classy to fence-sitting. At the same time, some insiders close to Drake told rap podcasts that he was a bit annoyed by the rumor. Others said he found it laughable, a testament to how easily social media can run wild with speculation. In a sense, Drake's approach might have been the smartest move to keep the narrative in limbo. By neither refuting nor fully embracing the rumor, he ensured it stayed a hot topic. And in the music business, chatter equals relevance. Hip-hop, more than many other genres, thrives on the raw energy of competition. Historically, we've seen rappers harness tension to amplify their creative output, pushing each other to innovate or refine their lyricism. When fans sense even a hint of conflict, particularly between two A-listers like Drake and Kendrick, they go into overdrive. Online forums like Twitter, Reddit, and specialized hip-hop boards exploded in a frenzy of interpretation. Some fans posted freeze frames with arrows pointing to Kendrick's mouth, claiming to read his lips. Others displayed screenshots of Drake's immediate expression, though Drake wasn't even physically at the stadium in full view, leading some to assume he was watching from a private suite or at home. Conspiracy theories flourished, each more elaborate than the last. YouTube channels dedicated to hip-hop commentary churned out dozens of Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance exposed, or top 5 clues, Kendrick was calling out Drake videos. Each video poured over the performance, occasionally referencing rumored behind-the-scenes drama. Meanwhile, TikTok creators made comedic sketches, acting out fictional phone calls between Drake and Kendrick, or dramatizing how Drake's reaction might have looked behind closed doors. Casual fans versus hardcore followers. Interestingly, those who only casually enjoy Drake or Kendrick's music often didn't think twice about the performance. They saw a spectacular show, not a personal vendetta. It was primarily the deep-dive fans and music buffs who insisted every syllable had secret meaning. This dichotomy illustrates how the subculture around hip-hop loves building narratives, especially ones involving potential beef. Music journalists and cultural critics chimed in, dissecting the possibility that Kendrick wanted to overshadow the typical pageantry of the halftime show with a statement, though no one was sure if that statement was about social justice, industry commercialism, or Drake. Major publications ran headlines like, "Did Kendrick just take a shot at Drake during America's biggest stage?" perpetuating the story for clicks and views. At this point, the rumor had taken on a life of its own, separate from whether any actual diss occurred. In many ways, this phenomenon highlights the power of the internet to fuel a narrative from a single spark, especially when two high-profile figures are involved. No matter how many times commentators tried to debunk the alleged dig, fresh angles kept appearing, breathing new life into the conversation. Some claimed to have discovered lost footage or enhanced audio, proving that Kendrick changed a lyric. Others insisted Drake's next album would respond with a full verse calling Kendrick out. The more the rumor spread, the further from solid ground it drifted. But the drama showed no signs of stopping. Interviews with industry insiders added yet another twist, with sources close to Drake hinting he was mildly annoyed, while sources near Kendrick joked that the speculation only elevated the performance's impact. Critics weighed in too, pointing out that if Kendrick truly wanted to eviscerate Drake, he'd do it through complex metaphors, not a fleeting halftime moment. But as the noise continued, one fact held steady. Fans love a good rivalry. Conclusion. In the end, did Kendrick Lamar really diss Drake during that epic Super Bowl halftime show, or was it all a mirage, fueled by overexcited fans and click-hungry gossip sites? The answer might depend on who you ask, and more importantly, what they want to believe. Perhaps this moment reflects something bigger about the hip-hop landscape, where a single lyric or sidelong glance can trigger an entire cultural conversation. For Drake's part, his level-headed public response signaled growth, showing a man who no longer wants every rumor to overshadow his music. And for Kendrick, the silent mystique only intensified his legend, reminding everyone how brilliantly he can command attention without saying much at all. Ultimately, whether real, accidental, or pure fiction, this incident stands as another chapter in the ever-evolving story of two titans shaping modern rap. As fans, all we can do is watch and listen eagerly for the next clue buried in their songs, performances, or social media feeds. Because in hip-hop, mysteries like this don't just vanish, they linger, feeding the culture's endless appetite for intrigue,